Hi guys, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at a little knife by FURA. This is their copy of the Kershaw Cinder, a Hinderer design knife. We've got a really nice bottle opener on the end here. It's a titanium frame lock, S35 VN steel blade, at least that's what they say that it is. And from the more that I read, yeah, that's good English. Anyhow, it seems to me that it's very likely that this is authentic S35 VN steel. You've got a nice little belly blade, nice drop point there. I don't call it a Wharncliffe because Wharncliffe means you have a flat blade. The cutting edge would be flat. This is a bellied blade. And so there you go. I've got the original Cinder right here from Kershaw. So I'll be comparing the two of these a little bit in this video, and we're going to see how they are. So stick around for the full review of this FURA. Normally this would be a wee Wednesday review, but since I'm taking a lot of time off this week due to my chronic pain, this video will come out at some other date than Wednesday. So here we go. There's the knife by FURA. Here's the original Kershaw. Let's zoom in just a little bit for part of this. We've got, this is just a wart treatment on my finger. I didn't cut myself, so we're fine. On the Kershaw, we've got just a, I forget what steel it is that they've got on there. Anyhow, it's a made in China knife, a G10 kind of handle scale here, a steel back spacer right there, a hole for lanyard or keychain, whatever you want to put on there. Great big access to the liner lock. You press in there to unlock it, and it works very well. And you can put your finger up here, sort of a half and half choil, and you can get good 3 fingers on it. Get your thumb in this hollow spot right there, and get a really good grip on this knife. Or a pinch grip works really well too. This kind of pinch grip works really well, where you just take the knife and grab it like that. Of course, the fist grip works good as well. Either hand works good, or you can put your finger on top if you want to do slicing. It's not the best for piercing into something like a stabbing kind of motion because you've got this big drop here, akin to a Wharncliffe, of course, very much like that. Thumb stud on one side only. These guys have a torque screw to take it apart. The FURA doesn't. On the thumb stud, I'm just going reverse order what I was talking about. So you have to sort of grab it with some pliers if you wanted to take it off. But I sharpened it up just fine, just clamping it on up here. And I've almost put the mirror edge on it. I didn't sharpen it. I sharpened it up to 600, and that's as far as I went. So it's got a little bit of a shine to it, but not a perfect kind of mirror finish yet. You've got a Torx screw here that sort of sticks out like quite a bit, and you can see how it sticks out. There's the Torx hole on that side, and it's got a sort of pyramid, except for it's not square. It's, like a cone, I should say, and a point right there. The frame lock here, again, just like the Kershaw, very easy to access to unlock. Lockup is very good. Exactly what I'd like to see on a brand new knife. If this was a bigger knife, I'd say that's perfect. And so on this smaller knife, it's perfect as well. Instead of a back spacer, this is an open pillar construction, sort of got hourglass shape construction right there, in sort of a coppery kind of goldish color, and Torx screws if I wanted to take it apart. And this back frame lock piece is the piece that turns into the bottle opener, whereas the Kershaw has it this center spacer kind of piece that's the bottle opener. It's thicker than the Kershaw. It's longer than the Kershaw. It's heavier than the Kershaw. And the cutting edge is slightly bigger than the Kershaw as well. So let's bring these close together up here. And if I put the starting point together right there where the sharpness choil is, and just sort of pivot it up, you can see that it's a longer blade. Just by a little bit, not by an awful lot, but the same basic shape. The Kershaw is a hollow grind. The FURA is a flat grind, a saber kind of grind. Sharpener's choil on both of them. Stone wash on both of them. You get a little bit bigger grip area on the FURA, but you get the same kind of grips. You know, you hold it like this, or you can pinch grip it in your hand, or you can grab it back here if you want to. You know, whatever kind of cutting you need to get done. It's a good little keychain knife. It does fit on a keychain still, even though, you know, it's got a fairly thick piece of titanium back here. This is TC4 titanium, and I believe it really is titanium. There have been enough FURAs that have been checked out, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. I do like that they've got a really thin cut when they cut out the relief for the frame lock arm. It's probably using wire EDM technology to get that little cutout. It's nice and smooth kind of cut, which I really like. A lot of knives these days have you know, fairly thick cutout line, and having something nice and thin like that looks really good. The edges are chamfered all the way around, even the little hole here for the lanyard. On the outside face anyways, on the inside face, it's just, you know, a square cut. The face of the show side here looks like it's got, you know, some worm rot. If this was a piece of wood, it had worms that had been eating through there. Maybe termites or something, you know, nice little trenches in there. It looks kind of cool, and it does help with the grip a fair bit. You can't flip this knife open that well unless you practice for a while. Oop, see, there you go. That's the kind of thing that happens if you don't have a good firm grip, and you can't get a firm grip that well because it's so small, but there you go. I can get it to flip out if I do it just right, but generally it's best just to, you know, slide it out like that. It's easy to close. Just push it with your thumb and then pivot it closed and grab with your thumb again to help finish closing it. And that works quite well. With the left hand, it's harder to deploy. You have to go from underneath, and you can get it to release with your index finger, at least I can, and then actually middle finger, and then the index finger works it the rest of the way out. To close it is easier. You just sort of do that. It's not anywhere near as comfortable on the left hand as it is on the right, and it is a little bit painful sometimes to deploy the blade that way. It's just not the best. It's easier just to do it that way. Do a two-hand opening if you're left-handed, and then leave it in your left hand and use it. That is, if you want this kind of knife. Other than that, it comes in 3 colors. This one's the nice blue color. You can get in a multicolor, and you can get it in a gray. So let's talk about the dimensions and sizes of all the different parts. We'll zoom in a bit for that. Okay, so what do we got here? Cutting edge, 3 centimeters, 1.1 inches. Blade length, so end of the handle to the tip of the blade, 3.8 centimeters, which is 1.5 inches. The thickness of the blade is 3 millimeters, which is 0.118 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind is 0.51 millimeters, which is 0.02 inches. Very good thickness behind the grind. I'd be happy if it was even a little bit thinner. That would be nice. The Kershaw, I measured it, and it's actually very much the same, about 0.5 millimeter. So good job here. The handle length on this knife, and for the handle length, I measured it when it's closed. So the longest length I could find on the handle, 6.8 centimeters, 2.7 inches. And then the grip area from just behind the sharpener's choil, so this half and half choil, to about the middle of the apex of this rounded area. So right about where my fingernail is, that's what I measured, because further back it just doesn't offer any grip. 6.1 centimeters, 2.4 inches for that. Oh, sorry, I was zoomed in too much while I lifted it up. Sorry about that, guys. Handle thickness is right around 1 centimeter, 0.39 inches. That's just on the handle. It's a bit thicker here by the pivot screw because it comes out on both sides a fair bit. The total length when it's open, 10.5 centimeters, 4.15 inches. This knife weighs 33 grams, which is 1.2 ounces. The original is a fair bit lighter. It's 25 grams and it's 0.9 ounces. This guy's bigger, which makes sense that it weighs more because of that. How much do you have to pay for this if you want to get one? Well, they're not super cheap. It does cost a little bit. You've got titanium, and I do believe that this is quite likely. I'm not saying this as a fact. I'm saying quite likely this is S35VN steel. In any case, in Canada, from GearBest, Canadian dollars, $30.67, and then it's less than $2 shipping that you have to add on. In the US dollars, it's 24.51 US dollars and about $1.30 for shipping. In euros, 20.74 and just over €1 for shipping. And in pounds, 18.73 and just over £1 for shipping. So that's a pretty good price, for genuine S35VN, which I'm assuming it is, and titanium. And it's got a reasonable look and a good convenience. And, I like it. Let's do a little bit of cut tests and then we'll talk some more. Got some paracord here. Let's do 2 layers of paracord. Zip through that pretty good. And the Kershaw, very, very similar kind of feel with the Kershaw. Well, they are about the same thickness band of grind, and it's the same kind of sharpness. I sharpened this knife myself. This is not the factory edge. This is my edge. Let's see how it looks, how it does with paper. Paper, you always have to attack at just the right angle or else it doesn't work. I could just cut paper all day long. I've got some cardboard here, and I cut some of it earlier when I did an unboxing. And it cuts pretty well. And, yes, I did cut all the way through, pretty much all the way through. As you can see right there, the cut is all the way through. If you go too far through, if I push too far through and go like that, I end up trying to cut with the sharpener's choil, and that's a factor that makes it a little less convenient for cutting cardboard because it's easy to get the cardboard caught up in that sharpener's choil. Quite easy to cut when you want to, all the way through. And this is fairly heavy-duty cardboard right here. It's a double layer. You got a thicker layer and then a thin layer, just the way this is made. And it cuts it quite easily, quite readily. It's a reasonable little knife to have. I think it's a good keychain knife. I don't really like this pyramid right here, or the cone. I wouldn't say it creates a hot spot in the hand, but sometimes when I've grabbed it, I've put my finger on that spot, and it's a bit irritating, or with the thumb right on that spot. And that can be more irritating than the finger coming around when the thumb's right on the top of that. Not the best, but it's okay. I wish they would have just flattened the top of it off a little bit, sort of like the side where the screw is. It's just sort of flat on that side. That would have been nice. I'll show you the inside of this. There's little ball bearings in there, actually. And that's amazing that they put ball bearings in a little knife like this. Good action. No blade play back and forth, up and down. Rock solid. Nice detent. You can hear it go closed. Well, maybe you can. That last little bit, just sort of. And it holds it closed enough. It's not going to open accidentally when it's on your keychain, or if you drop it in your pocket or put it in your coin pocket or whatever. I like having this nice thick 2 layers right there of the titanium. So when you do grab it this way, you get a very good firm grip. I like the ease of the release right there to get the frame lock release done. Lockup is good, nice and early, just like I want it. Comfortable. Nice bottle opener. I don't have any bottles left. I did one bottle opening test and it worked just fine. I should have kept another bottle so I could demonstrate it right here. But so it's a good knife. Is it worth $30 Canadian or $24.51? So basically $25 US. I don't know. That's up to you. If it's worth it to you or not. Each person has to make up their own mind if they think that amount of money is worth it. For some of you, you're going to say definitely not. And some of you might say yes. And some of you just are going to hate the styling and say, I don't want it for that reason. And other people are going to say that thing's pretty cool. So I like to review things without giving too much of an opinion of the, if it's worth it or not. Basically, what I want to tell you, is it well built? Yes. Is it, properly made? Is everything put together well? Well, that's well built, right? Yeah. Fit and finish. Is it good? Yes. So if you like this styling and the price is good for you, then I recommend this knife. If its styling's not good for you and you don't like the price or any combination of those, hey, don't buy it. No problem at all. No pressure on my part. If you do want to buy it, please use the links in the description below. You can get it in those 3 colors. I would really appreciate it if you would use my links. That does help out Canadian Cutting Edge. Helps fund this channel. It's really expensive to do knife reviews. And, I don't always get everything for free. I have to buy a number of my knives. And I, need money for that. Actually, if you want to buy anything from Amazon.ca or Amazon.com, and I might start it for other countries too, like the UK, if you guys tell me that you buy from there often and you would like me to create links for you, I can. So for GearBest and Amazon.com and .ca, if you want to buy anything from those stores, you could email me at CanadianCuttingEdge@gmail.com and send me the link of what you want to buy, and I can create a referral link so that you will actually be supporting Canadian Cutting Edge when you make the purchase. I email you back with the referral link, and if you use that to buy, you get the same low price as you would have before, but you help out Canadian Cutting Edge at the same time. And that really means a lot to me. A few people have done that in the past, and it really does help out. It's a genuine way that you can support Canadian Cutting Edge. I'm starting up a Patreon page so that you can support Canadian Cutting Edge that way. And I don't get very much money at all through Google, YouTube. They're starting to demonetize a lot of my videos, and I don't get any money for advertising on a number of the videos. They don't like knives for some reason at YouTube, just like they don't like guns or anything that can be construed as a weapon, as if this would be a weapon. But we'll see if this thing gets demonetized or not. In any case, thank you so much for helping out Canadian Cutting Edge. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for commenting, subscribing, and sharing these videos with your friends. Remember, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.